Hello everybody, so I am Olivier Corby from Inria and Université Côte d'Azur in France, close to Nice. So in the context of the AI project ontology development, I participated and I have set up a triple store, a SPARQL endpoint and a semantic web server in order to browse and query the ontology, the metadata, and the knowledge graph. And in addition, I have also developed some SHACL shapes in order to validate the data with respect to the ontology. And recently, in addition to this, I've been working with Eric Blodet from Thales, and I have set up a first version of the Thales knowledge graph that I have translated into RDF and introduced into the same triple store. So next slide, please. So within the triple store SPARQL endpoint, so as I said, we can query and browse the ontology and the knowledge graph. It is built on top of the Corese semantic web factory, which is developed in my team, in the Wimmics team at Inria. By the way, this is an AI resource. This platform implements RDF, RDFS, all RL, which is a subset of all. It implements a SHACL interpreter and also SPARQL query and update. And there is, on the web server, there is a SPARQL query user interface with a set of predefined queries. And these queries are displayed within a text editor in such a way that the user can either tune the query thanks to the interface, but also user can edit the queries. And also, as there is a SPARQL endpoint and a SPARQL processor, in addition to querying the AI4EU knowledge graph, we can also query additional SPARQL endpoints on linked data. And for example, we can in the same query, thanks to the service clause, we can also query DBpedia, for example, in such a way that we can get additional information and link information from the AI4EU graph and the DBpedia graph. And for example, in the AI4EU model, AI resources are annotated with the country where the resource is developed. The country is given using DBpedia URL for the country, and in this way, we can perform join and links between the AI4EU graph and the DBpedia graph. Next slide, please. Then, in principle, it is possible to inject new resources using a SPARQL update. So when restarting the server, it is possible to specify a set of RDF documents to be loaded. Then, while the server is running, it is possible to load new description, new RDF description using the load SPARQL update. And also, it is possible to use insert data and the insert where SPARQL update statements. Next slide, please. Then, so when the user executes a query, on the left part, there is an example of a query. And on the right part, there is an example of the result of a query. So the result is presented as a table with the values of the variable that have been retrieved from the query. And as you can see, the URI of the resources are presented as HTML hypertext links. And then we can click on a result, and then we can navigate in a hypertext mode within the knowledge graph. So it is possible to navigate in hypertext within the AI4U knowledge graph. And so this may help to understand and learn the structure of the ontology and the content of the graph by just clicking on AI4U resources. Next slide, please. To finish, on the Corese semantic web server, there is also a set of graphic display widgets that enables us to process the result of the query, and depending on the kind of result of the query, we may generate graphic views. So for example, if in the query, in the SPARQL query, where we ask for the localization of a resource, we can query in addition DBpedia to obtain the coordinates of the country, the latitude and the longitude. In this case, we trigger a map, an OpenStreetMap graphic display widget, where we spot on a map the places where the resource that we have found have been developed. On the left side, there is a chart graphic display. So in case of a query with an aggregate where we count the number of resources according to a group by, then we can trigger a chart graphic display. So here we have a chart with several kinds of keywords about the resources that we have found. And then there is a third graphic display widget, which enables us to display the class hierarchy, so the class hierarchy of the ontology. And there is a second one, not shown on this slide, that can show the graph of the property signature. So it gives another point of view on the ontology. Then I have to say that all these components are completely generic. I have done no specific development for this AI4U prototype. I have just plugged in several existing widgets that already exist on the Corese platform, and I have set up a specific pipeline of these different graphic display and query component. And so I have finished my small talk, so you can go to the next slide. Thank you for your attention.